What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2026 BMW X3, courtesy of BMW of York in York, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in this one today because it's got some very unique or modern styling. I don't know what to call it, but I think it looks dang good. All-wheel drive comes standard, and the X3 is actually BMW's #1 seller here in the US. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there's essentially two different configurations. There is the 30, which is the one we are in today. That one starts at $50,900. It's a $1,400 bump, by the way, from the 2025 model year. And then you got the M50. That one starts at $65,900. Obviously, between those two trim levels, there's going to be two different power plants as well. So let's touch on the power numbers here. 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder for the 30, and that comes with a mild hybrid system that puts out 255 horsepower, 4,700 RPM, 295 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 1,600 RPM. Power again sent to all four wheels through an 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which of course you guys know we will be testing out here in a little bit. But 0 to 60 time approximately 6 seconds flat. That's plenty respectable. Top speed 130 miles per hour with MPG numbers coming in at 21 in the city, 28 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so then there is the M50i, and that one gets a little bit more power. That one's powered by a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 393 horsepower, 5,200 RPM, 428 pound-feet of torque at 1,900 RPM, sent to all four wheels through an 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters yet again. 0 to 60 time for that one, 4.4 seconds. Top speed 155 miles per hour with MPG numbers at 21 in the city, 26 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. We said that before we do any kind of fun acceleration or paddle shifter test here in the X3, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. It's labeled My Modes. It's right behind this glass circular shifter. It's a pretty cool glass control. But anyways, drive modes are going to include efficient, sport, and personal, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the paddle shifters here to the test first, and let's see how quickly these paddle shifters are going to react for us here. All right, real quick, I just put it in manual shift mode. I just tapped the shifter back one more time, and I got it in sport driving mode as well. That's why the ambient lighting's red. I just noticed that. Cool. 3, 2, 1, go. It's kind of fun. There is a little bit of delay to the paddle shifters, and there was definitely a delay when I initially hit the gas there, hence turbo lag, which kind of surprised me because the mild hybrid system, you think it wouldn't be there. But anyways, we're going to do that acceleration one more time with the car having full control. But having said that, the paddle shifters, a little bit of delay. The other thing is they are a matte black plastic. Would have loved to have seen either aluminum or like a nice smooth silver finish on them. You can keep them plastic, just put like a nice high-end silver plastic feeling finish to them. Because matte black plastic, it's just, that's the lowest of the low kind of finish you could get. That's all I'm saying. They work, they're there. I probably wouldn't use them personally if I were to get this car though. But like I said, let's go ahead and find one more straightaway with the X3 having full control, and let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. All right, got her straightaway from a standstill in 3, 2, 1, go. There it is. Not bad. That's 60 right there. So plenty of an acceleration to merge you onto the highway. 0 to 60 in 6 seconds flat. That's definitely very respectable. So you're not going to have any issues with that. I love that the when you change the drive mode, it changes the ambient lighting colors as well. And by the way, ambient lighting done 100% here. We'll get more into that. I'm actually going to see if I can pull under like this overhang and get some really cool shots of the ambient lighting for you guys later. So be sure to stick around for that. But again, plenty of an acceleration emerging onto the highway. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so as you would imagine with the two different engine configurations, there's going to be two different braking configurations to go along with all that. More power, you need bigger brake setup. You guys know the deal. But 13-inch ventilated front disc for the 30i, 13-inch solid rear disc, again, for the 30i. However, when you bump that up to the M50 engine configuration, you get 13.7-inch ventilated front discs and 13.5-inch solid rear discs. As far as the braking feel goes, it's been perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today. It's pretty much as I would expect. It's not a super firm braking feel, but it's not a soft braking feel either. It's pretty much as the X3 should brake like. I'll just put it that way. I know that's a boring commentary, but that's what it is. But then touching on suspension and handling, 4-wheel independent suspension coming standard front and rear stabilizer bars, but you also get an adaptive damping suspension for the M50i. By the way, that's an option for the 30. That goes for $1,250 if you wanted that option for the 30. M Sport suspension is obviously going to come with that M Sport package. That goes for $2,200 for the 30. So that's going to give you a little better handling and allow you to feel a little bit more of the road. So that's the trade-off with that one. But overall, as far as ride quality goes, it's actually been perfectly fine. Now, it's not going to be as smooth as the adaptive damping suspension. That's the one that you want, I'm telling you, because that monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adjusts it to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it also tightens up that suspension during heavy cornering, giving better handling as well. So, but what you notice the most is the ride quality. So without the damping suspension, if you want the best ride quality, but like I said, having said that, it's been perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today. As far as steering feel goes, that will adjust dependent upon the drive mode that you put it in. So I do kind of like that BMW gives you something for everybody via the driving mode. So if you want a heavier feel to the steering, you put it in the sport driving mode, or you can customize it as well, of course. But if you wanted kind of a looser steering feel, you put it in personal, or what did I say the other one was, efficient or something like that. So it gives you something for everybody. As far as cabin noise goes, now that's something luxury automakers always crush it at. We're going 24 miles per hour right now. I'll be quiet. It's a pretty darn serene cabin, so I definitely like the lack of cabin noise coming into this thing, so 100% on point there. Then touching our rear visibility, because of the shape of the X3, you definitely should not have any issues with that. I'm looking at my rear view mirror, I can see perfectly fine there. As far as forward visibility goes, rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard on the X3, so whenever this thing detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on the windshield wipers for you, kind of like automatic headlights, just one less thing you got to worry about there. But also available when it comes to forward visibility is a head-up display. We don't have it with us here today, unfortunately, but what that is going to do is project your speed limit, and safety features up onto your windshield, better helping you keep your eyes on the road, which is pretty darn cool. But nonetheless, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior now of our brand new, awesome dune color, by the way. I'll get into that in a second, but our brand new 2026 BMW X3. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2026 BMW X3, finished in dune gray metallic. That is a $650 paint option, by the way. It's not really gray. Oh, I guess it is a little bit gray, but it's more dune. Anyways, I like it. But let's go ahead and start with where the X3 is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 5, indicating that this one is built and assembled here in the US, in case you were curious. But starting up front, BMW active kidney front grille, meaning the grille shutters are going to open and close dependent upon the engine cooling that is needed at any given time. You will get an M logo found in the front grille if you were to go with the M50 configuration. LED accents also surrounding that front grille. That's kind of cool. LED headlights with LED daytime running lights to the sides. You get the automatic feature with those. Also get automatic high beams, so if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams, and when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So that is definitely pretty cool. You will get a more aggressive front fascia if you were to go with the M50 or the M Sport for the 30 configuration, so I did want to mention that as well. And then to the bottom corners with that more aggressive look, you do get front air curtains. Not in our case though, unfortunately, but nonetheless, I still think this thing looks absolutely great up front. But that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. So but now, since we are around to the side of the X3, starting all the way to the top, you will find some roof rails, silver or gloss black window surrounds, dependent upon the configuration that you go with, of course. Rear privacy glass does come standard. Taking a look at the side mirrors then, they are body colored or gloss black side mirrors, again, dependent upon the configuration. They will be power adjustable. They are heated with LED integrated turn signals then as well. Also wanted to mention, you got flush door handles. That's something that isn't always the case, so I think that looks pretty darn good. Then take a look down at the wheel setup, 19-inch alloys for the 30 configuration, 20-inch alloys for the M50, and then there are plenty of different wheel designs available. I think we actually have one of those optional wheel designs with us here today. 20-inch wheel design. It looks dang good actually, but the only thing I would probably change are the matte black side skirts. I would definitely make those body colored along with the back end as well, but other than that, pretty good looking side silhouette, but that pretty much rounds out the side. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, zipping out since we are around to the back of this one, starting all the way to the top, you guys will see that body colored shark fin antenna. There's a rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. You got the rear window wiper affixed to the rear glass as well. Some really nice looking LED taillights. I like the design of those. And then just below it all, we got an optional tow hitch there. You guys can see that with the 4 and 7 pin connectors just to the side there, but underneath of it all, there is dual exhaust outlets. They are tucked away for the 30, but you do get quad tips for the M50, so I wanted to mention that. But nonetheless, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Something else as we are around to the back of the X3. When it comes to opening that rear tailgate, a power tailgate actually does come standard, so you gotta appreciate that. There is a button on the side of the key to go ahead and open up that rear tailgate. There is a button on the tailgate itself, of course, as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 31 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, of course, the rear seats do fold down. That's gonna bump that up to 67 cubic feet then. There's a 12-volt power outlet in the cargo area. There's also LED cargo lighting. You don't always get the LEDs. There's tie-down anchors, there's grocery bag hooks, there's a little bit of netted storage, and then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, which I always love to see. But then making your way up to the rear legroom, that comes in at 36.3 inches. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the rear seats there. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard. You get rear ventilation back there, USB charging ports. Heated rear seats are available. That's an option that we actually have with us here today, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then rear side window sunshades are available for $250 if you wanted that standalone option. But then making our way up to the front seats, perforated quilted leather does come standard. That's going to be available in beige, black, or espresso brown. I'm going to go ahead and venture to say we got the espresso brown. It looks pretty darn cool. Power adjustable front seats with 4A power lumbar coming standard. Front seats are going to be heated. They get memory settings as well. That's pretty nice. And ventilated front seats, of course, are available. Overall, as far as seat comfort goes, 100% on point. Definitely did not have any issues with the seat comfort in this thing. Held me in place perfectly fine there. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, I believe this is called a hexagonal steering wheel. How many sides we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, hexagonal steering wheel. There is a flat bottom to it, of course. It is heated actually as well with the convenience package for the 30. We got that convenience package, by the way, so that's why we got the heated steering wheel. M50 actually gets the heated steering wheel coming standard, so that's pretty cool. But overall, 10-2 grips, massive, biggest grips in the game, absolutely gigantic. I love it. It gives me a better feeling of being in control. But yeah, huge fan of the steering wheel, believe it or not. But let's now go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your BMW logo on the one side. That's your lock button. On the side of the key, you got unlock and the button to pop the rear tailgate there, but it is a remote start for the M50i. That's available with the convenience package for the 30, and then keyless entry with a push button start coming standard either way. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my front of the brake and press that gloss black engine start button located just in front of the shifter. And so once started up, when it comes to the gauge cluster, it is a digital setup and it looks absolutely amazing. And then the cool thing about the gauges is you can completely change the look of it by simply just pressing the My Moods button found just behind that circular dial yet again. So there's expressive, there's efficient, there's relaxed. Let me put it on. Oh gosh, it changes the freaking moonroof too. Okay, this is going to be interesting. There's digital art. That is also very wild. And by the way, when you change these modes for the gauges, it also adjusts the look of the ambient lighting. So like digital art's a bunch of purple hues on the gauges. It makes all the ambient lighting then purple. Let me see what expressive does here. It makes the ambient lighting actually like a color combo of blue and yellow. That's kind of wild. Kind of like that. Sport's obviously gonna make it red. Let's see what efficient does here. Woo, it's like a light show, man. I like efficient. That's kind of like beachy. It's kind of like a cyan and a yellow. I think I'm gonna leave it on that. So It's pretty stinking cold. I love this ambient lighting, man. Like I said, I'll show you guys more of that later, but gauges 100% on point. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Sky Lounge panoramic roof is going to be available. LED interior lighting is going to come standard. You got a universal garage door opener for up to 3 different garage doors. Dual zone climate control coming standard. You get multicolor ambient lighting. The other cool thing is, I didn't mention it to you guys with this ambient lighting again, if you put on your hazard lights, it blinks on the inside in this bright red. I think that's pretty cool too. And it's a really loud turn signal, by the way. And hazard lights for that matter. So yeah, there's that. But wireless phone charger does come standard. We do have this kind of weird cloth-ish finish. I guess it's kind of cool, but I'm kind of wondering to myself, how in the world would I clean this? Because it's pretty darn texturized. It's not like you could just wipe it. Like, it feels like food would get stuck in it, but I don't know, I could be wrong. It feels really nice though. I like the look of it too, but it's different. I'll just put it that way. Everything surrounding the shifter here and the circular dial looks like it might be finished in a matte wood trim. I'm also a big fan of that. Then within the center armrest, there's plenty of storage in there, a 12-volt power outlet in there as well. The cup holders are just in front of the shifter, by the way, but overall interior quality is, I'm gonna say it's very unique. So it's definitely different, but I like it, especially the multicolor ambient lighting. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen. This is a 14.9-inch infotainment screen. You get Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can check out your ambient lighting settings up there. There's your weather information up there. There's actually games up there to play if you wanted to. Of course, there's your radio information as well. So when it comes to the sound systems, 12 speakers does come standard. There is a Harman Kardon sound system that's available for the 30. That goes for $900. And by the way, that's a $25 increase from the $875 option for this sound system last year. But anyways, M50 comes standard with that Harman Kardon sound system. So having said that, we do have the Harman Kardon sound system with us here today. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. First and foremost, which one of you guys at BMW York puts chill step on every single vehicle that I've ever driven here? That's my first question. Put it in the comments. But second of all, tons of bass with that sound system. Plenty of clarity as well. Like, Harman Kardon did a wonderful job with this sound system here on the X3. Like, it was really, really darn good. Like, big fan of that sound system. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen, at least, is when you do put the X3 in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Panoramic view monitor is going to be available there to the right as well, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so to start, front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats. Rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard. Front pedestrian detection, perimeter approach lights, forward collision warning, any blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, first thing I want to mention, because design is important, brilliant design here on the X3. I absolutely love the look of this thing. So well done, BMW, for that. Two powerful engines as well. Even this 0 to 60 in 6 seconds flat, that's plenty of power for this thing. You don't need the M50. M50 is going to be fun. Don't get it twisted, but I'm just saying this engine is perfectly fine as well. Ambient lighting, it's pretty darn great. Like, I like the multicolor kind of thing going on right now. Like, there can be two colors at once. That's what I mean by that. So like this kind of beige blue kind of look at the same time, I think that looks really darn good. It's very beachy in here with our sand exterior and our blue and sand interior. I just think it's really peaceful. That's all I'm saying. But as far as room for improvement goes, I will give you guys two things here. It can get pricey quick. There's a lot of options. Not as many options as Mercedes-Benz. That can get pricier, but still good bit of options with this one. And then the other thing is, and maybe this is just me, let me know in the comments, but I would love a naturally aspirated V6, because like I said, when I initially hit the gas there was definitely a delay because of the turbocharged engine. But if you make it a naturally aspirated V6, not only do you have better reliability long term, but you eliminate that delay for the most part. It's not going to be like electric car good, but still, it'll be a lot better than a turbocharged engine. Of course, the miles per gallon are going to be sacrificed a little bit, but for me, it's worth it. But let me know what you guys think of the X3 in the comment section below. That's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media stuff at the bottom of the screen if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel. Before it gets to YouTube, I post random stuff on there as well. But anyways, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what I've been doing here for 11 years now. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.